through fighting?
Well, I started in the martial arts when I was 4 years old. I was studying the art of Taekwondo, and my progression in Taekwondo led me to other arts. The school I was training at in Bloomington, Indiana, introduced me to a whole bunch of diverse, training in martial arts, and mixed martial arts is one of the things they studied there, along with kickboxing, Muay Thai kickboxing. And part of getting my third-degree black belt in Taekwondo involved me training in other arts, and I fell in love with those other arts. And so I decided, I'm more competitive than I am martial art minded, I guess, and I decided I wanted to fight. I watched a DVD of women's fighting, of the first hook and shoot of all female fights, and I was hooked. I thought it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen, and something in me said, I want to do this. And so I went out to California. I trained with one of the artists featured on there, Debbie Purcell, and I came back to Indiana, and Jeff Osborne invited me to fight on the hook and shoot. It was my very first fight, and circumstances came full circle because I ended up being on the DVD cover for the second one, so it was very exciting.
Well, it definitely paid off. You're the world champion.
Yeah.
Is that crazy?
And I'm the world champion in the organization that I started in, and that I think has done so much for women's mixed martial arts that, it's a big honor to be a part of the hook and shoot, because it's done so much for women in this sport.
It really has, you're right. Can you talk about that a little more, where this is not, a typical bystander may say, okay, this is all for guys. A brutal fight like this is all for guys, but that's not the case at all. You're a living proof of that.
Yeah, I'd like to think that mixed martial arts should basically feature, it's martial arts, and women have done martial arts since the beginning. And I think that we are no less competitive than the men, and the fact that Jeff Osborne in the hook and shoot profiles women and really helps us progress is huge. It's monumental in this, and I think that it's a great means of exposure for us. You see UFC, Pride, and all of these huge organizations, and they have some amazing fighters on there. And I don't want to take any credit away from the men, but the women fighters, we really put a lot on the line, because we not only have to prove what male fighters have been proving, that they're tough, that they're strong, they're skilled, we have to prove that we belong. And I think that in that you see a lot of excitement in female fighting.
When you started doing this, when you first got into it, did you ever think you would be the world champion?
No, but I wanted to be. Yeah, when I first started, I just wanted to fight. And I think it's my love of fighting that's actually led me to this. Because, I'll throw down with whoever. I don't care. When I won the championship, that was 3 fights in one night, and I was never happier than getting to fight another time, getting one more fight tonight, getting it all out.
So you said you've always been involved in martial arts since you were 4 years old, and you've always been competitive, obviously. So you've always had that fighting instinct inside of you?
Yeah, it's always been a drive, the instinct to fight or to prove myself. It's always been in there. My biggest competition is myself. And when I'm in the ring, you hear a lot about people trash talking and I hate this opponent, I want to beat this person up. But it's really never like that for me. I want to fight the best because I want to prove to myself I can be the best. And whoever I'm fighting it doesn't matter it matters in game planning and in tailoring my style, but whoever I'm fighting in the end ends up being my demons, or what I want to prove to myself. And so the result, I want to win, I always want to win. But if I've fought a good fight, then the result of the fight is that I'm proud of myself.
That's great. Probably a lot of women out there watching watch this tonight, and they're going to see you and say, wow. Do you feel like you're a role model for women, and maybe you could help get more women involved in this sport? When they see you, they say, hey, if she can do that, I want to give it a try as well.
I hope I am. I hope I can be a role model for young women, because, growing up, I am, there were a lot of athletic women, but it was mostly like track and gymnastics and stuff like that. But in me, I'm not an athlete for track or gymnastics. I'm definitely a fighter. And I think there's a lot of women out there where fighting is probably their niche. And I hope that I can help bring them to that. I would love to inspire young women.
That's great. Nice. 2 more questions. Explain the major difference between men's competition, hook and shoot, and women's competition.
I don't know that there is that much of a difference. You're going to see 2 athletes going at it and throwing down. I think that what I said before, what you're going to see is women, we put a lot more excitement. We will go and go and go and go. There's no, letting up or stalling in a women's match, or very little anyway, because we are trying to prove something, about how we belong. And so I don't know if there's going to be that much of a difference. You're just going to see 2 athletes at their best.
The final question, you're only 26 years old, so how far do you hope this takes you? What is your ultimate goal?
My ultimate goal is to reach my potential as an athlete. Whether that means every world title I can get my hands on, or if it means fighting 10 more times and feeling satisfied. You know, once you scratch that itch, you figure it out. So that's my goal, is just to fulfill my potential, to know that I've done what I'm capable of doing. And I think it's a lot more than what I've done so far. I think there's a lot more that I can do. So.